Hello, everyone. It sure is a pleasure to be with you today. This is Monday, November 5th. So good to see you. Good to be with you here. I know I'm lagging a little behind on all your questions, so forgive me. Just been crazy, crazy, crazy. But I got to show you these because I love this. This is so cool. You know, you guys get it, and I just love that. I love this one. My diabetes isn't real. What about the study? The study intrinsic factor B12, da-da-da-da, mind blown. I love this one. This one will be easier to see. Look at this one. Now hold up. Who has the 3-lung T? If these physicians in white coats, of course this is a code gone bad, looks like. But they would be asking, where's that 3-lung T? Why, you don't understand. Fruit's good for you, Dr. Mercola. Thank you. That should be an apple tree. I love this one. If you really think about it, who poops in their kitchen? I love this one too. You mean to tell me all I had to do was move those limbs? Kid stuff, guys, kid stuff. And you know what? These go a long way, in my opinion, to helping people out there understand how simple getting well is, or during trauma or surgeries, what you can do. This is why I wanted you to hear this one case where this breast is highly involved. We've been trying to help her open up that doorway, but the door doesn't want to open easy there. So she has to address this, I think, medically, and then she knows how to clean up what the residues and everything. She already got her lymph nodes down, and then she'll be good. And that would be important here. This, I want to get to these as fast as I can, so I really apologize for being so late. But I want you to know that I always love every one of you. And you're all in my thoughts, and I hope in our travels together. There's so much going on in all these levels. I'm telling you, it's unreal what's going on. And you're so responsible for helping this planet grow, each and every one of you. And I want you to be proud of that. You know, and we need to get back to this semblance of love and joy and health and well-being. And you certainly are making an impact. I hear this all the time. And so it's just so exciting. All of you on Facebook, and you guys are working yourselves. Don't be frustrated. It just takes time and learning experience. And remember, you guys will do a lot far better than we are as you grow and you learn and you develop your little tricks and things to help people get well. So to me, everything's up from here. And a lot of years just to get to here. So from here, it's up and out. And I wanted to address this one because this is an individual with Down syndrome. And we haven't talked about Down syndrome a lot here. And if you remember the movie Lorenzo Oil, and you see just what this mother got done with a few things that she added into the diet of her son. And I think you'll realize that you can regenerate anything when you get deeper. So her daughter has Down syndrome with thyroid issues. How interesting, right? Because you're going to see the pituitary involvement. You're going to see the thyroid, parathyroid involvements. You're going to see those things involved. But when you see tissue that is mutating or has been augmented, what's going on here? Even in a genetic line, you notice how cells are continuing to go down. I mean, I just got an emergency call over the weekend of a infant just born this weekend, born 6 pounds, about 6 weeks premature, and it just stops breathing. The baby just stops breathing and turns blue. So the physician says we don't know, but we think that's septicemia. Well, if the baby's sepsis, the mama would be too. But I can tell you, some of that maybe, but wants to just hit that baby with antibiotics. They are so addicted to antibiotics, they need to go to these rehab centers and get rehabbed off of antibiotics. They're going to destroy this little baby's immune system right off. So the sad thing is that, remember, we've talked a lot about the adrenal glands and the kidneys in these children, and that the adrenal glands are coming down so low. You would have to look at the mom and dad, but a few blood pressures, a few look in the eyes, and a few questions would determine how low the mother or father is, particularly the mother, and then what's going on with baby. And you're seeing these adrenals so low that the neurotransmitters are so low, and the blood pressure is much lower than normal on this baby, that the baby just stops breathing. Not a stretch. Add this to the GI tract problems that you're seeing, where the gut is highly acidic, highly chronic. That taps right into the parasympathetic, sympathetic, and then we have all of that going on as well. Take in consideration the baby's already a little preemie. So the problem is that it is an infant, it's in the hospital, and they're going to run this baby full of 2 high-powered antibiotics to knock this septicemia out, and that should make that baby breathe better. Forget the fact that breathing is a neurological experience. Forget the fact that we are in a huge downslide in the adrenals and neurotransmitters. Forget all the actual facts of what's going on in life. It's just sad stuff. So I hope the baby makes it. I really do. And if he does, then the parents can do things when they get home, particularly the mother. Going to breastfeed, it's got to be through the mother that you feed this infant, except that I did recommend 3 drops of the adrenal tincture in by mouth in this baby. If we can get them in, that's going to help a little bit there, keep him half stabilized, because the antibiotics are coming. And we don't know if that's post-vaccine. That's another thing I forgot to ask them. Do you know, even at this age, did they vaccinate that baby? They're nuts, so they could vaccinate them even the neonatal hours. It's like, what? So we don't even know that yet. If it was a post-vaccination that the baby stopped breathing, we don't know. I assume they wouldn't vaccinate that young, but nowadays these guys are way out there on branches that are unreal. So this is a mother with a daughter with Downs, the thyroid issues. We're going to pick up the whole endocrine glands. You're going to use upper circumbrain and nerve, no question. At the same time, you're going after the adrenal glands with this Down syndrome. But you're going to go with all the syndromes. You're going to go with the adrenals and the kidneys, because where are we looking at that's breaking down tissue, that's augmenting cell morphology? Acids and the lymph system, always. We're always going to go to that system, because the system is controlled by the adrenals and the kidneys, and therefore you see all the effects of the adrenals. Look up the adrenal glands and look up all the steroids and neurotransmitters the adrenals do and what they do, as much as we know anyway, and that'll give you some idea of just a few symptoms you can have when they're down. Yeah, this is a good mama. Here, apparently her blood test just came back, and they now believe she has Hashimoto's as well. Well, Hashi this is all lymphatics here. If she gets a little goiter, that's all lymphatics, and that would suppress, and that would be a given. So you would also suppress pituitary function as well. So now you have your growth and your design of the body. There is some of that comes out of the adrenal glands as well. So you want to hit all the endocrine glands, no question. Make baby healthy, no matter how old, how young. Everything has to think about health. How to restore health to the cell. And now you have to think, okay, so what directly impacts the cell? Blood and lymphs. And then you have to go down that road that we went down video after video, so you guys will get a good handle on what you do. And it doesn't matter what the syndromes, it doesn't matter what you're dealing with here. To return health to tissue, it's so simple, is to detox that which is obstructing out of the body. And that includes neurotoxins, excitotoxins, heavy metals. It doesn't matter. I just talked to a lady that this osteopath or naturopath is selling her round after round after round of chelation therapy, and then testing her urine to see if it's cleared up. Well, you're testing an eliminative organ. You're looking what the body's excreting. You go to hair analysis to look at tissue toxicity levels. You don't go to urine for toxicity levels. That's what you're excreting. And if you're doing chelation therapy, you're going to excrete more. But what's the best chelation therapy there is? You're right. detoxification, always there. If you want to use, I like the dark greens and heavy metals when you have a lot of those because of the buffering mechanisms there. So alfalfa is a great chelator, if you will. Your dark greens, parsley and cilantro, of course, all of this sort of thing. That'll help if someone's worried about that. But clean this person out here. They now increase her Synthroid. See, Synthroid medication, 250. It'll constantly increase because being on this, of course, Synthroid is going to just weaken the thyroid even more. Why, at least medical doctors, get into your glandulars. That'll put you a cut above your brethren, and maybe you'll get more popular and you won't hurt so many people by suppressing gland function. When someone with a syndrome like Downs, you don't suppress their glands, that's already the problem. So that's they just don't know any better, and it's too bad because glandulars have been out for over 50 years. And Roy Lee's work was very instrumental. Standard Process Labs. The mother also wants to get rid of varicose veins. Well, that's a parathyroid problem. Remember that? Parathyroid. Plus, you want to consume high flavonoid foods, which is your vitamin C complex. You don't take vitamin C, but you want flavonoids, which it comes in fruits and berries and all things, really. Fruit and vegetables, but fruit and berries the most. I'm very confident with a high frugivore diet and herbal formulas such as thyroid and lower circulation, including a Fab4 if possible with exercise. Absolutely, Mom. You got it right on there, dear. Amanda, you're kicking butt here, honey. Thoughts, thank you, sweetheart. And listen, you can get this and bring your daughter out of this. And you can just see what little they did on Lorenzo oil. You can just see what that mom did and what she could have done at this level of thinking. Here's one I had to get a laugh out of. This is from Alan here. Now, this was sent directly to Jennifer, so I don't know if you want me to read this or not. I just read something. If you get to the point that your body is using up proteins, basically the body itself, then you're in bad shape. Well, and even chiropractors are taught this as well, that the proteolytic enzymes of the body will start chewing up the body. You have to give the body a little more respect than that. The body would obviously start to break itself down a little bit, but where else can we get amino acids, and where else can we get our sugars, and where else can we get our fats other than food? Other than food, where else do you get amino acids? Where else do you get your sugars, and where else do you get your fats? And I'll give you a hint. Protein is nitrogen, fruits and vegetables are carbon. Hydrogen, fats. Are we getting it? Air, the air. Now granted, you're going to pull in a lot of other stuff, but you have to understand we're consuming these elements at higher levels. The higher the consciousness of the individual, you notice the least you can eat the elemental levels. If you'll notice, those of you that are on fruit levels, you can't do vegetables anymore. They're too low. They're too hard on you. How about even coarser foods that are more toward the earth? Starch. No. As you get closer to this, remember the 256-year-old Chinese man? Google him up. 256-year-old Chinese man with the 23 wives, born in 16-something, died in 1933. I would show you the picture on the wall, but no one's here to help me do that. 23 wives. Lived through 2 or 3 dynasties. Drank ginseng tea 4 or 5 times a day, said he didn't eat anything that grows below the ground, and the higher off the ground you eat, the healthier you would be, suggesting, of course, frequencies and vibrations of the higher levels of fruits. But if you'll notice, as your consciousness grows, as you start eating higher off the ground, you'll notice that you can no longer return to the lower levels, and that the lower levels of eating breed lower levels of thinking. So it's all about vibration, of course. Nutrition, yeah, that's down the road. So the problem is there's been plenty of people that fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, and their body did eat itself up. As long as you're getting carbon and oxygen, the body doesn't need to eat itself up. But if you're not getting carbon and oxygen, particularly carbon, because you're going to get oxygen, but if you don't get carbon, then we're going to turn to your fats first. That was, remember, Atkins' philosophy. You want to lose weight? starve the body for sugar, and it'll break down its fat reserves. Well, you can't give the body sugar or fat. When you do that, you got to go one step toward the acid side, protein. And then look at all the people that died, that had strokes and heart attacks from the use of high-protein diets. Not smart. That medical doctor, too bad he died because he should have went to jail first. I mean, you can't be doing stupid things like this, risking millions of lives and, of course, causing a lot of deaths. You can't do that for the sake of ridiculous philosophies that don't make any sense. I mean, that's almost too simple of a philosophy. I'll put it that way. There's simplicity and there's stupid simplicity. I ate grapes only through yesterday, day 10. I still have quite a bit of stool relative to quality of food, I'd say. Yeah, you can see stool for quite a while, especially if you're on stomach and bowel formulas. Someone went shopping for me yesterday and brought different fruits, mangoes, raspberries, but you're getting plenty of amino acids, so that wouldn't, that statement that was said up there about proteins eating and the body eating itself up wouldn't play at all because you're getting plenty of proteins. But what's our name for proteins? What's the actual name for a protein structure? Yes, amino acids. Complex amino acids, we call it protein. Complex sugars, what do we call a complex sugar? Starch. Polysaccharide. Saccharide is sugar, di is many, poly is many. Mono, fructose, glucose, and galactose. I know I am not eating enough and I'm quite bedridden and nobody to help me gently. It's not about what you're eating if you're bedridden. It's about your body and what's going on with it, man. I read last night about Dr. Jensen having people nurture him back to health. Unfortunately, I am not so lucky. I fear this could be very significant. I am very emaciated. Well, we have a place for you, Alan, if you want. We've got some YouTubers there right now. We're working on their health. These are advanced cases. But if you want, get a hold of Jennifer. There is a place we have that you can stay, that they'll supply your foods and everything for you and help you. You can do that. So thanks, Alan. But that's one of the things that's out there, you know. Some of the stupidity out there is so high. It's unreal. And that includes drink gallons of water. We just had a lady, her legs swell up and got bigger and bigger, and she's been on the program, and, you know, those guys missed it out there. And it's like, how much water are you drinking? She says, I drink lots of water. I said, quit it. When you're highly acidic and someone tells you drink lots of water, what do you expect to happen? Exactly, edema. You're going to start holding part of that process of hydration. The problem is holding too much water leads to congestive heart failure, pulmonary edema, not good. Remember I told you how a medical doctor killed one of our Lou Gehrig's case because he thought she suffered too much? He drowned her. And that's exactly how you can get rid of somebody legally and no one really know it. You can get them too much water is edemic and you can go down with that. You don't do that. Drinking water is not curative anyway. And you might feel a little better, but hydrate on fruit juices. That way you have some power of astringents to move lymph. You have your electrolytes. You have all the things that will slowly begin to move interstitial fluid and create true base homeostasis interstitially. Going to take a while because you have miles of interstitial fluids, but at least the process will begin. I don't have long to do a long video, but then we're getting a lot of complaints these videos are too long. I'm sorry about that. Unfortunately, I only grabbing time while I can, and hopefully in the future we're going to have more time. So I just thank you for holding in there with us and helping yourselves. We all love you, and we're just really trying to get everyone well and helping everyone. And we are a lot of sick people out there. I feel, man, my heart goes out to this planet and these people here. This is from FDSELG. I just love your angelic picture here. Just so beautiful. And that's how each of you have to see yourself. Each of you have to see yourself as beautiful angelic beings. And when you meet someone, see them as an angelic being. Give them the love, you know. And then let it melt their attitudes and their unhappinesses away. Because you're there with the God force, the love, the beauty, the peace, the joy, the answers to their suffering. They might have to work for it, but that's unwinding karma, as this lady said with the Down syndrome. It's unwinding this karma. and you can unwind it. You don't have to live with it. And a good idea to unwind it. And if you want deeper unwinding, there's all kinds of levels you can attain. But I love your angelic thinking there. Thanks for coming to this crazy earth. It's exactly not what I wanted to do. I'm telling you. I've talked to souls. I've told you. I've talked to plenty of beings that never have been at this level. I always have to laugh. I say, oh no, you should go down and try it. And you'll be running back. There's so many levels to creation. And there's so much broader and more loving and more etheric and more beautiful, and things move quicker by thought and desire than they do here. This is almost suffocating here. But you know, this is where the course of the drama is. This is the butt end of the drama, and boy, is it ever. Teach us how to elevate and be clean before we leave and go to the big airport. From Canada. It was fun being with you and seeing your office. Thanks, Life Rejuvenator. It was fun with you too, my friend. I really enjoyed you, man. You and your family, it was good stuff. So thanks for coming anyway. You're a good dude. All you guys are great spiritual beings, and you have to understand that we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. And it's time that we tap our spiritual side and help the beings on this planet to look at love more. I don't know, it's a big order. You know, the negative forces have gotten themselves a little out of balance. Ooh. Dr. Morris, thanks for all your help, info. You're welcome. Bye, welcome. I'm honored and a pleasure to help anyone. And I think we should always be respectful of that, because to me, healing is the highest order, where you can help another individual find their wellness and their God self. You can't ask for anything better than that. That is the turnaround for a soul and their journeys. I'm sorry, I've been talking up a storm all day. Can you please help me out? Absolutely. I have weird fatty deposits right around the eyeball. Excuse me, and underneath the eyelids on my right eye. It is separate from the eyeball and not visible until I lift up the lid, and you can probably feel it. I have no idea what that is. Excuse me. A cholesterol plaque, or I am 24. Look at this. She's a 24-year-old female starting to pop fatty tumors already. And this is up in the head area. And I had it since childhood. Never bothered me in terms of pain or anything. It is something I should worry about. If you can feel it, of course it can be irritating. This is crazy about raw. Well, I would get crazy about raw, sweetheart, and really start moving my lymph system. It'll dissolve those fatty tumors. You can use upper circulation to help you, but you want to clean up your bowels, get your kidneys and adrenals back on and filtering, and start draining your sinuses out and getting your bowels cleaned up and get this whole thing drained. Then these fatty tumors will dissolve away and you'll be good to go. If not, you run the risk of pressure there with the lymph called a glaucoma. You could get in types of retina problems and macular degeneration and all kinds of problems like that in the future, because you got it. Lipids are placative in terms of acidosis. So this is what you see in acidic mediums, is coagulation. Even though acids at a certain level are corrosive, at another level they're anionic, dehydrative, and everything else. And so get in there and get that out of there, sweetheart, for what it means. When you see something like that, it's not threatening in the moment. It's what it means for the future. And this lady is only 24 years old. And so we don't want her to have any type of eye problems or brain problems or anything like that. Suggestive right eye, right kidney, right adrenal gland. But you can't work on just one side. You got to work on the whole thing, honey. Let me see. Can you do a video about albinoism? We've got a lady, of course I don't talk to her very much in Hawaii, but pituitary. Always pituitary, remember that. And so you've got to get in and work on your pituitary. Well, what suppresses pituitary function? The lymph. But remember, we talked a lot about this, and I tried to show this, and I'll try to keep that stored here, so every picture we do, I'll show you the colon, and how the transverse colon relates always to that pituitary right in the midsection here, and how it can affect the pituitary, and how you always have to fix up your GI tract to fix up the pituitary. But that's a case you would want to get them on a pituitary glandular and spend spend several years getting the health back and changing the skin and all that. And you can do that. This is all about pituitaries. Crazy about the raw. Hey, can you please help me? Okay, I think I already read that one. Brood strange. That isn't you, Steve, is it? Brood strange. I like that. The doc refers to the kidneys as the main doorway of elimination for the lymph system. Skin, lungs, bowels, or other pathways of elimination. Absolutely. The lungs are definitely the skin. If you look at the skin, you will always see that, like a highway, where you see how that the vibrations, the fumes, whatever you want, you see how that's coming up. You're always eliminating. But the kidneys are huge. Huge, huge, huge. And if you try to apply allopathic 17th century knowledge to that, you're going to lose. You're going to get frustrated. Now, regarding control, it's the adrenal glands that control the kidneys. Adrenal function is directly related to kidney filtration, which follows the proper rhythm. You are 100% right, Brood Strange. I think you're brewed perfectly. How about that? Very important. This is Dimitri. Hey, Dimitri. I'm writing on behalf of our team. We met in different ways, but all through the experience of detoxification, Dr. Morrison, what brought us together. Our International School of Detoxification Certified team consists of Logan, Nicholas. Logan is U.S. citizen. Nicholas is Danish. I never knew how to pronounce that, but it's Swiss. He's 42 and has business experience. Dimitri, of course, is Swiss. As you know, we are very motivated, multinational, and multicultural. You guys are butt-kicking. And to tell you the truth, you guys are smart as a whip. I love you guys. I met you guys at the school. You guys are smart as whips, man. You guys will make a good healing team, that's for sure. We are currently in the initial phase of our project. Could you use our health club signature? Yeah, I'll get with you, Dimitri, on this, my friend, and try to get that done for you. Already responded. This was the cutest thing you did with the moonshine. Yeah, always remember moonshine Jarl. It always works good in cases. Clean out the health returns. How do we maintain? All right, this is from, again, this is from Life Rejuvenator. And it said, Dr. Morris, after clean out and health returns, how do we maintain? Do you recommend any vitamins? I do have like to hear your take on vitamins and vitamin D in the winter in the northern regions. Thank you. And thanks, Life Rejuvenator. Well, I'm kind of in that maintenance level. And maybe a little sometimes worse than I should, but I'm pretty much in that maintenance level. Now, I try to do fruits every morning for breakfast. If I could have watermelon every morning to dive into, that'd be it. I mean, watermelon. I've had some oranges the last couple of days, but they're not quite ripe enough, so you still have that tangy acid yet. They're not picked ripe. They're not ripe enough, so I'm not into that alkaline, really refreshing stages, so I don't overdo the acids. But watermelon, stuff like that, is getting them here in this country, but fruit for breakfast is a necessity, and when you get away from that, you feel it big time. I try to maintain a fruit level up until now. Sometimes if somebody's throwing a birthday party back here, they don't always have raw. We don't all have raw foods working for us. Hard to to always get that where I'm at here. So they have other stuff, and sometimes everybody does a little of this and a little of that. I'll say this much: you want to maintain probably a 75% raw food diet after you come down off your detox. I think that's a great level. 80 would be even better, but 75 to 80% raw, then the rest steamed vegetables and stuff like that. I highly recommend, if you want to go back to proteins and dead animals, that you do that very minimally, to be honest with you, and I suggest you never go back to dairy products. But I don't know, in a world like this, how you can avoid that. For those with the candida problem, grains are always going to be a battle, that sort of thing. So if that's a battle for you, once you get the candida pretty much under control and your body cleaned out, the craving for grains actually goes away. And to me, I can't stand breads and things like that. To me, that's grains are definitely not in the picture. But, you know, that would be better than protein. And grains are a little bit higher in protein, but vitamin D through the winter, if you got to. But indirect sunlighting is always around, so I would get out in the sun even in the wintertime. Growing up in Indiana was snow and everything. I was always out in it. And I never supplemented myself with vitamin D. I think you'll find once the adrenals are kicking up, the glands of the parathyroid, and everybody's kicking up good, that vitamin D consciousness kind of disappears, especially when you get adequate sun, you know, even in the winter. I am confused. This is fruits, veggies, smoothies, green juices, potatoes, rice, no potatoes, no rice, eat whole grain, whole wheat breads, no whole grain, whole wheat bread, eat beans and lentils, no beans or lentils. Can you please clear this up for me? I do not eat meat, dairy, eggs, but do have fish, maybe one small piece once or twice a month. That's not bad. Yep, I am very confused. You forgot two more U's. It's yep, I am very confused. So you got to watch Storage Wars to get that. All right, so this is, this is Brenda. Hey, Brenda, sweetheart, listen. Don't be confused because it's like school. School has all kinds of levels to it and grades to it. And then when you get up into college, each college, you know, has its own levels. Each professor has their own ability to articulate and teach you. Some, admittingly, more through the mind than through the overviews, which overview learning is so much easier and better. But with that said, grains have never been good for you, ever. The American Dietetics Association kind of sold out the American people, but I can't blame them. I mean, this is just unconsciousness. But there's nothing healthy about starch. Unfortunately, we have so many millions of people starving that the best economic way to get to them is grains. So let's set that kind of thing to the side, and let's say that the money we're spending on paying off countries and we're buying friends and everything is that we go hug and be friends, and we start building pyramid greenhouses. And we start growing our foods. And each country learned to grow their foods, even if they have to grow them in pyramid greenhouses. And we start having good food. Get away from this crap of protein starch, complex nutrition. It isn't shown in nature anywhere except in carnivores and in some omnivores. But this is not in frugivores or herbivore diets. Complex chemistry doesn't exist. Herbivores a little more than frugivores because of their more extensive digestive system, like the four stomachs and the like. But each level has its own yeses and nos. So that's why I say, at a certain point, throw the books down, find where you're happy and healthy and live there. Best, if you can get high up on these programs, detoxify and come down, try eating grains. Your body is not going to love you. You're going to feel it. And that's the thing. You don't have to tell anybody what to eat that's been up there in a high detoxification level, because all you have to do is start eating these things. That's all you got to do. Nobody in a book has to tell you, because your body's already adapted to living foods, and then you start putting these dead, complex starches and proteins, the body goes, nope, nope, nope. And if you haven't got all your weaknesses out, they're going to start hurting again. This shows you, it's just showing you in real time what's up. Yep. But I'll say this. If you have a little grain or a little potato or a little this once in a blue moon, who cares? I mean, I'm not perfect, and I don't expect anybody to be perfect, and you're not going to have it except for a few who think they are. We know who those are. But if you would stay in the fruit and vegetable kingdom, you're going to feel a lot healthier occasionally eating something that grows below the ground like a potato. You're going to be okay. But when you start adding the starches again with the adrenals like they are and everything, you create this whole thing over again. Wheat, bread, who cares, whether it's whole wheat or not? It's all acidic. Most grains are acid forming. Most beans are acid forming, except millet and quinoa on the grain side. But still, it's the complexity of the sugars. And then, of course, that loves candida. Rice, Well, you saw the thing on rice. It's interesting how rice loves arsenic, and they really didn't talk about the accumulative effects of arsenic in people's lymph systems that are not moving. You have, you have an accumulation of arsenic there. So what's healthy about starch? Yes, people have eaten them. Yes, people have eaten them for thousands of years. Yes, yes, yes. Well, take a look at where man is. If you want to look at where man is and what his diet has yielded, just take a look around. Look at where the cancer levels are. Look at where the mutations are, the Down syndrome children, these poor children that are not even breathing. Look at what we're up against, and then don't apply that kind of philosophy, because that kind of philosophy is why we're there. We are a product of our dietary habits, meaning get rid of the grains, get rid of the beans, get rid of the meats, get rid of the dairies, and eat your fruits and veggies. And I gotta go. I love you all. And just don't get too confused, because there's a lot of books and a lot of opinions. But opinions only go so far. And those are opinions that are people that generally don't do this. Do it yourself. Wear the robe, get up there on the high level of raw, and then go have some grains. Go have some protein. You'll know immediately. But when you come down off of fruitarian, it is a trip. It took me a while to come down, and my body was not happy. It was painful. It was not a happy experience. But I feel more balanced. But do I miss those high levels? Absolutely. But I didn't miss the constant travel out of body and trying to deal with this world and these worlds. And I had to go make a living. And that's okay when you live in a cave. So anyway, I love you all. You have a great night. I'll make these videos as short as I can, and I'll keep trying to make short ones to catch up with all your questions. And I apologize. If you have something serious, you don't wait, you call. And if you're having a hard time with our lines, I apologize. Don't get frustrated. We're getting a new phone system here. And we're just country people, man. So we're getting a new phone system that should handle that. We're hiring 2 new people. So I appreciate your patience. But I enjoy every one of you. You guys are really kicking it up, and you're getting your rewards. Some of you are having to work hard for it, so hang in there. You are incredible beings, and I'm sorry that you have to suffer in the way that you do. So good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. May the blessings be.